Congresswoman Barbara Lee, currently a member of the Congressional Black Caucus. She is the former chair of the caucus. Congresswoman, thank you very much for taking the time to be with us tonight. You know, our Miguel Marquez was actually on the street amidst some of the protesters, some of the young men who were very angry just a few moments ago. They were pushing his cameraman. They were yelling so many FUs that we actually can't replay it. But this was happening in one area. I know, obviously, that is the last thing that you want to see. How concerning is that, though, at this hour?
Well, first, let me just say my thoughts and my prayers go out to Freddie Gray's family and the entire city and community of Baltimore. This is a tragedy that is beyond even being able to convey my sympathy to Freddie's family and friends. You know, Black lives do matter. It looks like in many instances Black lives don't matter. I think it's very important to recognize that the federal government issued data very recently showing that African American men were shot 21 more times than white men. That's a shame and disgrace. I'm glad that the federal government will be conducting a federal investigation. That needs to happen. Protests are extremely important now. It's important that they remain peaceful, but I have to tell you, I come from Oakland, California, where Oscar Grant, a brilliant young man, was gunned down several years ago. You may have seen the film Fruitvale Station. The other young African-American men around the country are being gunned down, unarmed young men. It's time to really come to grips with the fact that in this country, we have to really have criminal justice reform, police reform, and allow the peaceful protests to move forward, because that's the only way the change will occur. 50 years ago, it was young people who were protesting in Selma. My colleague, Congressman John Lewis, was one of those, and it was the police and the dogs and the, you know, the state troopers who tried to prevent those marches. And so we're 50 years later. There's a lot of work to be done. Black lives do matter, and it's about time the entire country understands this, and young people need to realize that they are going to be part of this change. The street heat is absolutely necessary. It's got to be peaceful, and once again, this is such another sad day.
All right, Congresswoman Lee, I appreciate your time very much. Congresswoman Lee referring